Hello, everyone. I'm Taylor Hall, and this is Bess Johnson, and we are here with another edition of Teen Talk. We are here to talk about teen driving tests today. When you are 16 years old, the first thing you want to do is get your driver's license. But first, you have to do two things. You have to take the written test, and you have to take the driving test, which can both be really nerve-wracking.
So today we have Mr. Collins, and if you take your driver's test on Monday, you'll be sure to meet him. He is here to give some helpful tips on what we need to learn during all of our practice hours.
So, Mr. Collins, what is the biggest mistake you see people make when they fail?
Well, there's a number of mistakes that kids make sometimes, and a lot of times it just has to do with them being nervous. But a rolling stop sign, like you were telling me about earlier, had one today where they come up to the stop sign and they kind of slow down and see that nobody's coming and they keep on going. But to be honest, I think sometimes they learn that from the parents, because a lot of times kids will mimic what the parents do, and the parents a lot of times when they're driving their kids to school and this other places, a lot of times they will come up to those stop signs and roll them. Also, when you're backing up, if you're not looking out the back window when you're backing, that can be a big trouble. Sometimes people will be backing up on the backing maneuver, and they'll be looking out the front window. But if there's somebody if there's a kid or a friend or family member behind you, you're backing out of the driveway, you're going to back right over them. So it's so important to look out the back window when you back. Also, when you're leaving a parallel parking spot or parked on the side of the road, if you don't signal and look over that left shoulder, make sure nobody's coming, you can get in trouble by pulling out in front of somebody.
So, how long have you been doing the written and driving tests?
It's been since 2000, about 12 years. But I love my job. If you love your job, it's not like work.
That's good.
So, what's some advice that you would give teens to protect themselves on the road?
To protect themselves on the road, number one thing is observation skills. Another thing is wear your safety belt. So sad when you open up a newspaper and you read a story about somebody that was killed in an automobile accident, and the story says that they were ejected from the vehicle. Well, the reason they were ejected from the vehicle, they didn't have their safety belt on. Nothing good happens when you're ejected from the vehicle, because either the vehicle runs over you or lands on top of you.
If you could guess, what percentage of the students fail or pass when they take these tests?
Probably across the state we have about a 30% average of first-time test takers to fail the road test. But of those 30%, probably about 99% of them will eventually pass. Mm-hmm. But just that first time that they were there to take the test, maybe they didn't look over the left shoulder, they weren't looking out the back window when they were backing, or they got nervous and rolled a stop sign. But eventually they come back, work on the areas that they need to work on, they get better, and come back and pass. About 1% or a little less than 1% never pass, and those are the ones you don't want on the road.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So, what's one of the funniest things you've ever seen while doing driving tests over the years?
Well, there's a few things that have happened that have been kind of funny. Had a girl to roll a stop sign, and it was the first stop sign of the test. And so we just took a right, and then took a right back into the parking lot, and we parked. And we pulled into the parking spot, and she says, "Well, that wasn't bad at all." I said, "Well, actually, we didn't finish the whole test because you rode that stop sign." And then I had a situation in Lexington a few years back when I was giving the road test, and we're a little ways away from a traffic light, and it turns yellow. Well, the young boy tried to speed up to beat the yellow light, or actually you're supposed to slow down and be prepared to stop. Well, he gets right up on top of the light, and it turns red, and we go rolling through the light. At that point, he's failed his test, and we're heading back to the parking garage there in Lexington where they started the road test. All of a sudden we hear Lexington PD, and they pulled him over and wrote him a citation. So it can happen on the road test that you can get a citation. You know, it's kind of unfortunate. I walked in with him and told his father, I said, we have double bad news. He failed his test, and he got a citation for running a red light. So those things happen sometimes. Sometimes they get nervous.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today, and I'll probably see you in a few days because I'm coming in March, which I think is on a Monday, so I'll be there.
Well, one of the main things that I would like to tell you and any driver that would come for the road test is we're not here to hurt you. We're here to help you. And I want to pass everybody, but we have to make sure that everybody is ready to be out there on the road. So if you come and you're not successful for the first time, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do to get better so that you'll be a better driver. So when you come, don't be nervous, and we'll get through it. And number one thing is you don't be nervous, and the number two thing is don't make me nervous. but we'll get through it, and if there's anything that you need to work on, we'll go over that with you. But if you're good to go, we're going to put you out there on the road. But if you have areas that we need to work on, we have to let you work on those areas so that you'll be a safer driver. Okay, Jessica, here's what we did wrong today. First of all, on the backing, when we were backing in the straight line, you were looking in your rearview mirror, but it's best to do like this guy on page 26. See how he's looking out the back window when he backs up?
Yes.
It's best to do that. On the turnabout, we're a little crooked, a little cockeyed when you backed into the street. The placement on the parallel parking will be a little bit closer to the curb, and on the park on the hill, it's best to be about 6 inches from the curb. Now, both when you leave the parallel parking and the park on the hill, you're signaling and looking in your side view mirror. Look in that side view mirror there. You don't see a whole lot, do you?
No.
Now lean forward and look over your left shoulder. See how much more you see by doing that?
Yes.
That's the best way to make sure it's clear before you pull into the road.
All right.
But we are good to go. Here's your score sheet, your souvenir of the day.
Thank you.
And you're going to take this card along with your permit to the clerk. They'll issue that full license.
All right. Thank you.
You be safe.
Congratulations, Jessica, for passing your test. Is this the first time that you've taken your driving test?
No, I took it last week.
Oh, okay. So the first time you took it, was you really nervous?
Yes. And I was even nervous today, so it don't change.
So did you have the same guy last week?
Yes.
You did? Okay. What did you have to work on after last week?
Parallel parking was my main thing. And my turnabout, I had to work on backing in to your spot, but that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you, Jessica, for talking to us today about your driving test. We appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.